Hey, you guys, it is 7 o'clock on Wednesday. Happy hump day. I'm ready to dive into today's show. I have some things to say about some people that I don't like, so it won't be kind. Um, but I think we all will have the same things to say about the same people. So let's just jump into tonight's conversation. Hey, darling.
Hey Bubbles, how you doing? And yes, I have no kind words to say for almost anybody except unless it's Finn or Douglas.
Nothing. I want to say hello to everybody on YouTube as well. And if you're listening to this, please make sure that you follow the show here on YouTube, and share the link if you enjoy listening to us. Because we want everybody to have fun. And darling, I think we're just gonna jump right into it because it's just me and you today, boo, for right now on the mic.
Looks
Um,
looks like it. I know Sanchez said earlier in a spaces that she might not be able to make it tonight, and if she did, it would be probably late. I'm not sure about Can and Sam's situation in Florida, so
yes,
yeah.
honey.
It might just be a quiet night with us and Queen Libra in the comments and our dear folks over on YouTube.
Well, we have plenty of people over on YouTube to keep the conversation going. Shonda's here tonight. I think this is my first time seeing her, but if it's not, I'm sorry because a lot of people come and go. Electra Storm is here. Vicky is here. Stefan is here. Um, Girl Louisa must be asleep because it's 2 o'clock in the morning in Germany. And Miss Queen Libra's here. So we got a party, honey.
Sure
We
enough.
I don't even know where I want to start at because I am so very thoroughly disgusted with everything that happened today. Like my disgust meter was on 25. I must have cussed at the TV 100 times today.
I'm right there with you because first of all, every scene that was at Brooke's house with her, Liam, and Hope was absolutely infuriating. I was absolutely disgusted about everything that took place there. Pretty much, honestly, it's not often that you get Brooke, Hope, and Liam in a room, but these days, Hope is the best person out of the three of them, and that's saying something.
You know what? I felt bad for Hope today. Oh, here's Sam. Hey, girl, come
Hey,
on in.
Sam.
Hi guys.
You safe?
Yes, I am in Clearwater and I'm trying to look out the window, trying to see what it looked like out there. Oh, it's nice. So you know what? Clearwater is going to get the least of it. I literally flee to the perfect spot in Florida. My city is in the red. We're gonna get a lot of water, a lot of flooding. So I'm glad I got out of there. But where I am now, guys, I'm being treated like a queen. I'm
Okay.
being served and I'm eating nothing but the best steaks and salmon and whatever I want. So
Well,
I'm
shit,
living it up.
that's good evacuation circumstances. Shit, better than being in a
Listen,
flea bag motel and eating Popeyes, girl.
girl, listen, it's
I think
100,
I'm a
it's
Popeye. I
200.
know that.
Yeah,
Hey, nothing.
200% better than last time. So last time I was in Irma for 9 days in my house without power. And this time I said, no way between here and hell. I'm
Mm-hmm.
fleeing to high water. And I got to the perfect place because Clearwater is literally going to get nothing but rain for a couple of days. And since they're so high, they're not even going to flood. But my city is going to flood. But
Yeah.
fine, that's fine. Ain't now.
Yeah.
The people flood right now. I saw some of the pictures of the storm surges and
Ugh.
houses are underwater. And somebody posted on Facebook, like, this is a picture of my mom's house. I'm like, hope that she wasn't one of those people that like to talk about how they gonna stay in place and hunker down, but she
Mm-mm.
would be dead.
That
Yeah, you
stuff gives
can't
me
hunker down.
PTSD.
Yeah, you can't hunker down when it's about storm surge and flooding. If they're
Look, I'm
talking
a
about water, you have to leave. If they're talking about
ex-
wind, you can hunker down. I hunkered down for Irma
exactly.
because it was a wind thing for us. But this is a water event. I'm not playing with it.
No.
And then sometimes you can't even get have clean drinking water. There is no way between here and here. I have a fear of not having running water.
Oh
I
yeah,
just
they're gonna
can't. It's a
shut. They're
thing.
gonna have to shut everything off while the cities dry out, and
Yeah.
that's gonna take a minute. So when people, I think sometimes what people don't realize when you say something about staying and riding the storm out, you're
Yeah.
not just riding the storm out. You're riding the recovery process out where you will not have services. I did that during Katrina. And I did it for 5 days after Ida because I have people in my life who I won't leave behind and who don't listen. Oh, but their asses are listening now. So we're not going to have this argument anymore after what happened last year. Thank God.
Child, you good
Yeah.
because look, if I tell you to come your ass home and you don't come your ass home, the best I'm gonna be able to do for you is a cover dishes. Like I
That's,
told my
that's
mama,
right.
when I get ready to go to Columbia and make my escape, if you're not coming with me, I mean, I'm gonna miss you terribly. But I don't know what else I'm gonna be able to do for you. This place is getting ready to be turned more upside down than it is now. It's not gonna get any better.
No.
We getting
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I had to leave
And
my son there. He's 30 something, and I told
hard
him. I
headed.
told him. I said, listen, the power. I told him he wasn't. He, I don't know why he don't remember. I told him maybe I think because he left my house and went and stayed with one of those girls.
Enjoy 2 or 3 weeks in the dock, if not more.
Right, and I told, and literally my power was the first to go out. Just like I told him. He was like, y'all still got power? I was like, yeah, I told you our power was going to go out first. It's not about the storm. It's about living without electric. That's what writing out the storm means for me. How long are you
Exactly.
willing to live without power? My answer, 0 days,
Exactly.
0 hours.
The South, the South became livable because they invented air conditioning. And I don't care if
Correct.
summer is over and it's about to hit fall. It is still hot down here 9 times out of 10.
It's
And you
still
trying
hot
to
here in Christmas on Christmas. This is
exactly.
Florida.
So, exactly. So you talking about you want to spend 2, 3, 4 weeks without power because that's what you're looking at. And as for the poor people who chose to ride it out, I'm gonna say it like my grandma used to say it back in the day. I hope your ass has an axe that so you can cut through the inside of your roof if you flood and it goes all the way up to your house so you can at least get on your roof because that's about what you need.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-mm-mm. So God bless those people, and I really do hope that they don't have a high mortality rate from this storm. But I just have a feeling that just like with storms of the past, people, they want to stay, they want to protect their homes. They make decisions about the storm on information that was 2 days old that has nothing to do with what the storm looks like when it actually makes landfall. So bless them, and I really hope the best for those people. I
Let me tell
really.
you, if you got insurance on your house, let that shit go. You can always rebuild. You can always take that law. Do they do houses like they do cars and say, well, this is a total loss and you just need to
They
scrap it?
can.
Because that's what I would do. I got my insurance. I have more insurance on my home than I will ever need. But I'm
Mm.
also of the mind that if some shit goes down, there's trees all around my house. So if some shit goes down and a tree falls, the most panicking I'm gonna doing is gonna be trying to find my phone to call Allstate and the tree service to come get this tree off of my house and for them to send me this check so we can either get a new house or I don't know, sell this one for scraps and move on. Whatever they do when your house is a total loss, that's what I would do. But
Hmm.
stay behind
Yeah,
the
yeah.
you a person. There ain't nothing that you gonna be able to do to keep the storm from tearing that house down if it wants to.
Sure not.
I'm a
But
case.
but that's the thing, guys. This is the thing. I understand that calculation. I would just leave, but every place has their own version of a natural disaster. Florida, I think I'm gonna go with the hurricane 10 times over than all of them. Will I be living on the ocean? No. But I would pick the hurricane over all of them. Earthquakes, twisters, tornadoes,
I mean,
landslides,
yeah, I know how to
volcanoes.
get past a hurricane. Get the hell out the way. Wait for it to pass.
Exactly.
That's how you deal with a hurricane.
You got
I'm
it.
gonna
I
pick a
got
tornado
hurricanes.
every time, though, you guys. That's just my jam. I'm
But
always
you a but you
tornado.
a tornado chaser.
Come on,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
listen.
I want to get out the way. And them hurricanes, they give you enough time to get the hell
They
on.
give
I
you
told you.
literally months. You literally have months when they tell you that this hurricane is forming out here in the ocean. that is your first notification that shit might be headed your way. Pay attention. Once it starts creeping closer to like Jamaica and Cuba and the Bahamas and the Virgin Islands and all that little shit out there that's to the right of Florida, that's when y'all need to start thinking, you know what, we might need to pack our shit and just, off the road a little bit.
Every June we get a plan. We always have to get a plan campaign about make sure you have a plan for what to do if you need to evacuate for a hurricane. And that's been religion in Louisiana for I don't know how many decades. So yeah, people know
Exactly.
to have a plan, and a lot of times people be like, "Well, I don't really know what to do, bro." You know what to do. You know what the choices are. You're either going
Mhm.
up to Natchitoches, you're going to Texas, or you're moving over to the right to Florida, Alabama, because they're not in the cone. Make your
And
choice. You got
listen,
three directions to pick.
and I don't even do that because Florida, our state is so narrow that it don't matter where in the hell you go. Every city in the state is going to be affected by the hurricane, whether a little
Hmm.
bit or a lot. So I just literally like right
You
here
just
where
move to
it's
the
going.
area that has less damage. That's good.
Exactly. I go to the place where it's been known to be a safe place where we don't lose power for days, and it's above ground. It's not a floodway.
Hmm.
So that's my plan every year. I'm so stress free with living with hurricanes because I know I'm gonna get a free vacation out of it.
I don't
Ain't
blame
that the truth? I don't blame you.
According to the maps, Ian is coming for us here in Tennessee as well, which means we're going to get a lot of the rain and storms. Of course, I'm hoping for some spin-offs.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah, that it
No,
happened with Ida like that. Ida, after it blew through here, it dumped all that water straight across the country and was flooding people in New York.
Sure
yeah,
was. Yep.
yeah.
It's
So
been
we're
touching
going to get some of
stuff
it
with
too.
snow up there,
I looked at it
up
on
in the
the
Carolinas. That's right.
I looked at the radar today and I was like, I'll be damned. It's we in the you know how it projects out and the bottom of it kind of opens up a little bit and it curves around and some of it comes I guess that's what is that over there? East Tennessee, from Middle Tennessee to East Tennessee is supposed to get like rain and stuff, but we'll see because it's still a couple of days. It might die down. We don't even know. The jet stream might change it.
Hmm.
I don't know. But this is kind of late season for tornadoes, but they're still possible. So I'm gonna hold out a little bit of hope that we get something. I know
Yeah.
I sound crazy and
Oh,
everybody listening
no,
like this.
everybody, they got hurricane hunters, so I know damn well they got tornado hunters.
Yeah,
Shoot.
honey. They make movies about the tornado chasers, so I don't know what the hurricane people do.
Yeah, the hurricane people down here in Lakeland, Florida. That's where they come. That's
Mm-mm.
where they based that
Jim
on.
Cantone out there playing with his life for the 80th consecutive time.
That is my baby daddy. When I met Jim Cantori, I thought I was going to die. And he's a little man. Like I was like, well, I can pick you up and put you in my pocket and would nobody ever know. And they're looking at me like, is she really talking to Jim Cantori? Like, I am. This is my baby daddy. What you talking about? You don't get to meet your baby daddy every day, okay?
Well, yes, you can if you do.
I mean, if it's your baby daddy, yeah. But this was
Well, you know, a tree branch almost took your baby daddy out from
girl.
Ian.
I be clutching my chest watching Jim in these storms. Like, if you don't chain yourself to something, because he really is a pocket-sized man. I'm 5'9", and he's a couple of inches shorter than me. And it was just the darndest thing. I'm standing there like, you just titty high, ain't you? I could put you in my pocket. And they're like, nobody's ever talked like that in the National Weather Service Bureau before. Ma'am, are you okay? Yes, this is Jim Cantori. You got to shoot your shot when you're
That's
shot.
right. Hey,
When you
listen,
got
but
to
with
when
me and
that
you on
comes
the same
available.
page. I'm on the same page with you right there on that.
Honey, when that,
If it's a dream come true, you're gonna have to shoot your shot some way, even if it's just a damn
Hey,
wink.
right.
hey, it is what it
I'm
is.
just in there walking at this man. I'm like, so you single? What you doing when this storm over? You're gonna be flooded in that hotel. You might need something more than just these wet ass streets, Mr. Cantori. You at the Holiday Inn of the Embassy.
Well, he gonna be at one of them strip clubs after the I moves on across the bay. He'll be at a strip club before he
Well,
leaves.
honey,
But
if they still even open, because they didn't close the Waffle Houses, and once
yep,
the Waffle House closes, that's it. That's a wrap. It's a wrap. When the Waffle House Index came out and they was talking about shutting them stores down across Florida, I was like, yep, this shit is fixing to be devastating. Jim Cantori is there, and the Waffle House
Waffle House is closed. All bad signs.
whatever you believe in, you might want to throw some extra money at it, because it to do some real damage. Okay, y'all, we can talk.
Now back to we've covered current events and natural disasters, but back to the show. So Sam, I know you because of your news coverage, you didn't catch Bold Way, but were you able to catch it later on?
I did. I watched it on Instagram.
Well,
Okay,
good.
awesome.
We pissed off together because
Yes, ma'am.
start with. So this didn't even happen on the show, but this was a fan theory that pissed me off today, and I was like, you know what? If they do this bullshit, I'm done with the show. So I don't want to get her name wrong because she follows me.
Was it Elizabeth?
Yes, it was. I
It
think
was Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. She was like, what if Thomas actually did make the phone call using that voice app? And I sat there and thought about that shit like, you know what? That is something that they would do to throw Thomas under the bus, because at the end of the day, only 7 people knew about this incident with the knife. Liam just found out today. Hope just found out today because they still on the same day, right?
Yes.
Liam and Hope just found out today. Steffi and Taylor talked about it today. Thomas and Ridge talked about it today. That's 7 people who know. Now,
But you can't add Taylor and Steffi though.
I did.
Taylor and Steffi know nothing about CPS.
They don't know about the CPS part.
About the knife right now. I'm just talking about the knife right now.
Oh, okay.
So only 7 people know about the knife. Out of those 7 people, 5 of those people have alibis. Taylor and Steffi were at Taylor's office talking about the knife. So they don't even know anything about the CPS threat, period. So they're completely off the table. Liam and Hope were in the office. Liam was chastising Hope. So we know he didn't call and she didn't call because she wouldn't call. And he was too busy telling her that she too stupid to recognize the red flags flying in her face. And Ridge was at the house with Douglas playing chess with the apprentice and losing 67-5. Them people got alibis. Brooke doesn't have an alibi because she left the office with her phone. Thomas doesn't have an alibi because he told Ridge, I'm going to
go ahead
here and finish some stuff up, and then I'm going to come back to the house. So them the only 2 people that we don't know where they were or what they were doing. We assume Brooke went to the CEO's office because they ain't got but 2 offices in the building, and that's where everybody goes when they want to have little secret clandestine telephone calls. So if Thomas was in the CEO's office, she wouldn't have been there because she would have ran into him, and then we would have probably got a scene with her going, oh my God, I can't get any privacy anywhere. You're everywhere, Thomas. Bring Douglas home. We would have got something. So my fear now is that because we don't really know where Thomas was, is that it is possible, because why would they even tell us that this app can mimic people so fucking perfectly that even a little child can mimic an adult's voice? So my fear is that Thomas has sat there with this app, and he has called CPS pretending to be Brooke, so that his daddy will fly off the handle and be closer to pushing Brooke out of their lives. That's a risky gamble to take, though, because
Sure in the hell is.
Even if you ain't doing nothing, he knows how Brooke is. So why would you take that gamble and put everything on the line for it to come down to you being back to your old tricks again?
Exactly.
That's the thing. This is the mind fuck. This is the twist that undoes everything and makes it a damn flop. That he's going to take the common sense out of it. Thomas is in the position of strength right now. Thomas is living with his granddad, with his son, with Hope's approval right now. Thomas has his family and all supporting him, from Eric all the way to Zende, Thomas's parents are getting closer and closer, and he is seeing it. Why would Thomas take his perfect life right now and throw it all away just to help Brooke end her marriage? Because everybody can see Brooke is doing a number on it on her own. So Thomas is so dumb that he would risk all
Exactly.
everything positive in his life just so Brooke wouldn't have Bridge. This is where the show jumps the shark, thinking that they need to bring everything back to that. That's bullshit. That's small
Absolute
potatoes.
bullshit.
Thomas gonna lose everything because he don't want Brooke to have Bridge. She done had him for 35 years. This is bullshit.
That exactly. I saw the same tweet that Bubble saw, and I thought the exact same thing. Because the thing is, this show has an addiction. Okay, they're addicted to two things. They're addicted to villainizing Thomas. They have been doing that since 2019, and they're also addicted to covering Brooke's ass for any sketchy shit that she does to make sure that she is not held accountable for nothing. When
Um,
you
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, when you combine those two things, it makes you question where the story is going, because Sam said it and Bubble said it. It makes no sense. Brooke is busy torpedoing her marriage just fine. Nobody has to do a damn thing to wreck Bridge. Bridge is wrecking itself just fine right now, and it needs no assistance, no help alongs, no pushes from anyone. It's all going down the tubes just because of who Brooke and who Ridge are. So
Taylor
for them,
said that.
hmm,
Taylor
hmm,
even said that the other day, that if her Brooke's marriage is fucked up and in trouble, she ain't got nobody to blame but herself. She's doing it. She's doing it.
correct.
And
So
Steffi repeated it, that if Brooke continues to tell Ridge that Thomas is a bad father that can't parent his son, it's going to push him away. We all agree that Brooke is wrecking her own marriage. Thomas need not lift a damn finger.
He ain't got to do nothing but breathe.
exactly.
He doesn't need to entertain her with conversation. He doesn't need to humor her with kindness. I would be talking to this heifer so funky, she would be crying out of both of her eyes. Why the
Like
hell
he did.
why
Like he did.
right?
Like
Why
he
did you
did
think
when he
you up
told
at my
her.
granddaddy's house talking about bring this back? Where's your other damn grandkids at? Ain't you got a black grandbaby somewhere you need to be checking her
I
on?
know. Go worry about what the hell Logan doing. Go worry about what the hell Lizzie doing. You got a whole couple other head of grandchildren to be concerned with, bitch.
And that's what Thomas told her when he said, "Oh yeah, all your other kids are gone. They ran away from you. Hope is the only one that stayed." Thomas is owning her ass. Like we're saying, Thomas need not do nothing. He right now can tell Brooke to fuck off, and nobody will mumble a damn word to him. So
I
why does
show
he
up.
need to throw everything away just to make sure that Taylor gets Ridge? This is what's pissing me off. It's all this so Ridge will choose Taylor. That ain't even a choice.
Makes no sense. It makes no sense. And the thing is, if they go that route, I'm sorry. I'm with Bubbles on this one. I'm gonna be so pissed off. I'm not gonna watch because it's gonna be
Mhm.
like because all this is gonna be is further confirmation that we cannot get a decent story for Thomas ever in life.
Not
Period.
just Thomas. They making a fool out of Taylor,
Hmm.
making a fool out of Steffi and Finn by extension, throwing Thomas completely under the bus. Eric
Mhm.
has taken Thomas's side. Even Zende is like, yep, the family is coming together. So they would throw the whole damn Forrester clan under the bus just so that Brooke can have a story to be reunited with her destiny for the billionth time in a row. And for them to add insult to injury because Hope already had Douglas 100%. They're gonna take him from Hope just to give him back with 100% custody and the 100% sole custody she had before, physical custody she
Probably.
had before.
Probably. So he
Hmm.
ended up losing
So
his kid all to fucking together.
so then we need to here at Drinks to the day after need to have a contingency plan because at which point I still would like to convene and talk about my soaps because I still will watch General Hospital and Days of Our Lives to drink to after the soaps.
Girl, I'm down the damn days of
Oh
our lives
yeah.
at this point. Because General Hospital, I don't care anymore about General Hospital unless this hook assaulter, only one person is dead, so it's not a serial killer. Only this, if this hook assaulter does not turn out to be some combination of Esme, Ryan, and Rory working together, I don't give a fuck about General Hospital anymore. I don't care who Trina Daddy is. I don't care about truck nuts. I don't care about Nina and Sonny. I don't care about big haired Carly and her big head kid. I don't care about Tasha. I don't care if they bring Brando back. I don't care about Cam. I don't care about what his name, the other Finn. I don't care about none of them bitches. Nobody, none of them. They can bring Franco back from the dead. Roger Hayworth ain't been on the screen in almost a month. I don't even care anymore. So right now, the only thing that's holding my interest is Days of Our Lives and Hulu. And if Days of Our Lives fuck around and fumble the bag, I guess we're gonna be starting talking about primetime shows because I'm gonna be
I
completely.
guess so. We go. That's what we're gonna come down to because we're gonna have to start picking some other shows to talk
I
about. Cause
think that
no.
Ron Carlivati is going to keep us with something to talk about on days. If we all can agree on days, I don't have no
Mhm.
issues.
Yeah,
That must be what it's
I'm
gonna
good
be.
with going with Days because I feel like Ron understands, and now that it's streaming, he is really going to give his fans what they want.
I heard Katie been showing her ass. I saw Katie. I got caught up until about the 28th, if I'm not mistaken, on days. And I love the binge effect on what is it called, Peacock. I
Mhm.
am loving the fact that I can get all my days back to back binged. I don't even know if I got commercials. I think I got commercials that don't even seem like commercials to me. Seems to fit right into my life. So I am all in 2 days, and I believe that Ron is gonna give us what we need. And Katie McClain showed her ass when Gwen caught her with them pills. I heard that she further showing her ass even after that. So I have to get caught up on days while I'm on vacation.
What
Well,
I
you
done
know
told
how that is. That's Katie. Katie always gonna show her ass.
what I done told you about Katie motherfucking McClain, honey. She's not coming out of the house to be basic.
Bitch, what? Say it one more time.
Hey, the Katie motherfucking McClain is
What?
not coming out of the house to be basic.
Correct.
The Katie motherfucking Emmy winning McClain is
Yes.
not fixing to roll out of her bed, beat her face, and drive to work to be average.
No, no, ma'am.
She
No,
is
ma'am.
the best recast since Krista Allen. I don't care
Indeed.
what nobody says about what the Melissa Reeves. Okay, girl, you had your
I
plan.
know. She's for the
But
birds. I never liked her.
honey, Katie McClain has made me forget that Melissa Reeves originated this.
Is Jennifer Rose.
Okay,
I was there
listen.
when
When I
Brown
seen
Boy was
Jennifer
born.
Rose standing up there with all her blonde weave all the way down to her waist, reading a motherfuckers, I, I stood there. I said, "You go, bitch. You go."
Let
I
me
stand
tell
bad
you,
bitches, and she
okay?
is one. Yes, honey.
That was the best decision that they made was letting
Missy
Melissa
Rivers.
girl
Mhm.
go on back to Nashville. You know she lived right up the street. Go on
I
back to
know she do. I know.
Nashville.
I know that. I knew that. I knew
Um,
that she had to be besties with her.
go on down there and stay in Nashville, and we gonna have the motherfucking Katie
Katie
McClain up
McClain.
here, and she's probably gonna bring us another Emmy, girl.
I heard that.
So
I heard that her
Hmm.
performance over the past few days with Marcy Miller, Abby's Ghost. I am hearing things about it, honey. So that's why I'm saying I am definitely gonna catch up because I'm hearing Katie out there doing things. THANGS,
she
THANGZ.
doing all the things.
Yes, honey.
All the things is what Katie McClain is doing. I've been drinking her bath water since Dixie Cooney. Okay,
Yes, me too.
since
In
Dixie
Rosetta
Cooney
Cabot.
showed
Remember
up
Rosetta Cabot?
Yes, ma'am.
in a cabot, all the bath
Yes.
water.
Now, who was her man? Was it Craig Montgomery?
Yes, honey, Craig.
Yes, she was married to Craig.
Now wait a minute. Now, on one of them shows, wasn't she on a show with Roger Howarth?
Um,
Why am I see wasn't yes because
Was
Rosanna had to be on that show with
yeah,
Roger Howard.
as the world turns, yeah, he
That's
was
that's the right.
Paul.
That's
wasn't
right.
it?
That's right.
Didn't
Because
Roger Hayworth? Wasn't he?
He was
Oh
everybody.
Paul
God.
Ryan,
He was Paul Ryan. That's
Paul
Paul
Ryan.
Sexy
Yes,
Ryan.
he
Oh
was.
girl, I've
He
been
was.
I've
Yes,
been
he was.
wanting
You're
Roger
right. He
Howard.
was the second Paul Ryan.
Yes, and I've
Jane
been wanting him
Steinbeck's
to be
son.
my husband since then, honey. I've been wanting him to be my husband since Todd Manning, actually.
I'm gonna be real honest. When Todd Manning attacked Marty Saybrook, I was so fucking torn because he was horrible, but he was so hot, and
He was.
I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to be having these torn thoughts
But I
about a
think
fucking
that
rapist.
I think that was his appeal. I think that every woman felt that way about Todd Manning, the type of man that you ain't supposed to feel safe with, but you can't help that he turns you on.
And then they put that damn scar on his face.
Yes. Oh, baby. You
Man,
bringing back some good memories.
I'm not even old enough to be having these kind of thoughts about Todd Manning, but I don't. Ooh, Todd Manning.
Todd Manning was a character. Todd Manning was
Ooh.
a character among characters, and Roger Howarth embodied he. Man, let me tell you, I still will drink his bath water. I
All of
don't care if Roger Howarth come back 10 motherfuckers on GH. I'm gonna stand all of them. Yes, I do like Austin too.
You know what though? If it ain't Esme, Rory, and Brian, who is also Katie McLean's husband in real life, and was also at one time her husband over on As the World Turns. Um,
Correct. John Lindstrom.
John Lindstrom.
Yep.
So if it ain't them out here doing it, I would hate to believe that it was Austin and that man, because you know they were out there talking before Carly got attacked. Not Carly. I keep calling her Carly because
Ava.
she was on in Springfield. Yeah, Ava. So when Ava got attacked, I was like, well, he ain't really got no reason to attack Ava, but they were out there close to where she was. I'm not understanding. And so then he disappeared, and ain't nobody said nothing about Austin. He's supposed to be dating Maxie.
Now listen, especially if they got some kind of chemical or drug on the hook,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it can't be detected, a doctor would be the type of person that would be able to concoct some kind of a chemical that can't be detected. Because they
Right.
still don't know why. Oh, what's his name, Dad? What's his name?
Brando. Yeah, they
Brando.
said they did figure out that there was something on that hook, but they don't know what.
Right.
That's
That's what I
all.
mean.
Yeah.
So really, but you know what though? That's how come I had brought up Peter and them Phasons. They always fooled around in them kind of didn't wasn't them the ones that always fooled around with toxins and stuff.
9 times out of 10, yeah, the Cassidines were more into world domination shit than poisons. The Phasons were kind of had like this Borgia thing going on for a
Well, who was
while.
the one with the poisons? Who was the one that gave that toxin to Chase? Who
Oh
was behind
goodness,
that
who
Chase
was
toxin?
that?
Wasn't it the
And that's before my time.
it was Peter. That's what I keep
Was
telling
it
y'all. I
Peter? I
keep
think it
telling
was
y'all Peter.
Peter.
I keep getting Peter vibes when I hear about this mass murderer in GH. I swear I keep getting Peter vibes. And you know what? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm not sorry. If Peter August came back to GH, I will be on it every day. On my damn lunch break. Because guess what? I love Peter August. I love the way he loves to villain. When I say he loves to villain, I think he gets a hard on when he's villaining. And I love a villain that loves what he does.
Hmm. So, well, I mean, I will say this much. At this point, I feel like, how do I put it? Everybody gonna be so pissed off that Peter come back, they're gonna try to kill his ass again. But the thing is, that's the thing about GH. Real villains never go on the first try. That's just, or the second or the third. That's just not how GH villains are built. They're the closest model we still have left in the soapdom of how to build a proper villain and not let them actually end up dead because they look dead. So I'm not gonna say you're wrong. You probably pretty close to the truth.
Well, yeah, because at this point we only have 4 soaps left. Now, who is
Hmm.
the oldest soap villain of the soap villains that are still alive and left? Um, we know GH has been around for 59 years. Dave's been around for 55, 55 for YNR and 35 for Bold and Beautiful.
All the good villains are dead. The oldest villain right now,
It's Sheila Carter.
original villain
No,
right
it's
now
gonna
is
be one of them Cassidy. You
uh-uh,
serious?
it's
You
Sheila. Yes,
serious? You mean
ma'am.
to tell me GH doesn't have a villain right now that was around in the 80s
I
or the 90s?
mean, let's see. Is Helena dead?
Helena's
Helena
dead.
ain't been on the
Okay, then
Wait a minute,
yeah,
Helena is
because they
Cassidy. She did. Didn't they have her?
yeah.
She was at Luke's funeral on tape, right? That
Well,
was
yeah,
Helena. Wasn't that
then that's
Helena
it. Because
Cassidy?
they all most of the old Cassadine villains are dead. Stavros is gone. Helena is gone. Cesar Faison is gone.
Yep. I
So
remember Cesar.
yeah, so that's pretty much it. And
So
Victor
we only got
Cassadine.
new villains on GH.
Well, no, Victor Cassadine was created in 1981 by Tal Pingalis, the guy that plays Tony DeMera on Days of Our
On Days
Lives.
of Our Lives. Yeah. So
But
Mhm.
wait a minute.
now,
So Ty was a writer?
no,
he was the originator of the role.
he's the
Oh,
original
stop it.
actor.
Okay, okay.
And so now, Charles Shaughnessy, who used to be oh God, what was his
Somebody
name
else
on
on
Days of
Days.
Our Lives?
He was somebody on Days of Our
hold
Lives
on.
because he just did the Peacock stream.
Yes. Hold on a second. Stop talking. What was his name? Oh my God.
Wasn't he Shane?
Shane. Thank you. Shane Donovan. Shane Donovan. So he is a new actor in the old role. So Victor Cassadine is the oldest villain right now, but not the original actor. Sheila Carter is the oldest villain played by the
Original
original.
portrayer.
Okay. So, you know, Brad Bell has the luxury right now of having the villain because let's keep it real. Sheila has been on all well, not Sheila. Kimberlyn has played on all the remaining soaps. Kimberly, wait a minute, she wasn't on Days.
No, GH. She was on
She
GH.
did GH, YNR, and Bold, but not Days.
Right.
So as Sheila though, she has been on YNR and Bold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So now is the time because right now I can assure you guys, I was tweeting it earlier too. I am already losing interest in Thomas, Hope, Douglas, Brooke, Ridge, Tabor. Because I already can see that the stakes are low because it's all going to boil down to Brooke's destiny, which is so weak when we're talking about Thomas and having custody of his son.
Yeah, that and we don't trust the show to handle this properly, to actually let the chips fall where they may and let people who want to do shitty things actually be responsible for the shitty things that they say they want to do.
Right. Instead of they basically create a situation and an atmosphere of negativity and then sit there in it and just wait on everybody else to respond and react to the negativity so you can sit there and then play the victim. But I'm not going to be interested in it because at the end of the day, what's the point? We just going to end up where we started on New Year's Eve.
Well, all I know is this much. By next Friday, we're going to have an answer to this question because Taylor going to have her ass in Aspen. Ridge is going to be to run his ass to Aspen. And also Ridge will have got next week he will have investigated to try to find out exactly what happened with the CPS call and that spoiler about Ridge hearts breaks when he finds something out. So we're going to see. Because my thing is, if it starts to turn toward, if the worm starts to turn in the direction of, okay, so yes, the call came from, the call was that, yes, the caller was identified as Brooke Logan. She's the one who made the call. We already know that it's not going to be that simple and that they're about to throw Thomas under the bus, to which, yeah, I'm going to be like, y'all keep doing that. Maybe I'll come back in 6 or 7 years if y'all haven't been canceled by then. Because, no, y'all on some bullshit. So,
Yeah,
let's
I really am not interested in them doing anything else negative to Thomas.
no. Is it because to me it's like this? If that was the case, why the hell did they bother with the semi redemption of him getting Bill and Liam out of prison? What was the point?
Because it just proves that they care nothing about Thomas's characterization as a character. They will make him whatever he needs to be to fit whatever the plot is for whoever story he has to be in. And
Probably.
that
You're about
leaves
right.
us with something that we don't want. We got something that is um, that lacks form. It has no characteristic. It's a shapeshifter. So we cannot invest in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna know. They're not gonna be able to keep that particular secret under wraps because it's already Wednesday of this week. So pretty much by Friday of next week, I'm more than certain we will know who the hell was responsible for the CPS who done it, and we'll know where to go from there. But about today's show, I will say some things that happened that were, well, first of all, one, almost nobody made a good impression on me. I was mad at almost everybody except for Douglas and Finn. That's about it. It's Douglas, Finn, and Steffi. Everybody else just pretty much pissed me off the whole show. Because one, the toxicity of Brooke and Liam is just off the charts.
Oh my God. They were talking to Hope like they were her parents. Okay, so you've gone over to your little friend's house and you say that your little friend's house is safe, but your mom and I haven't seen these things for ourselves. So, I mean, we have to kind of take your word for it, but we really can't trust your word because you are easily distracted by shiny things. So, you really don't know what you're saying here. You should just do what your mom and I tell you to do and bring Douglas home. Like they are really talking to it, and it's so frustrating to me because she's a grown ass woman and she's just sitting there, and you can see that she's doubting herself. Like she's been there and she
Gaslighting.
what's going
She
on, but they got her having these doubts come up, and she's still going to defend Thomas because she has seen what she has seen. She popped over on a surprise visit. Liam could have went with her then. She popped in on a surprise visit. Nothing nefarious was going on. Like, what do they think he's going to be doing? Throwing axes and snorting coke off of Donna's ass? Like, what do they think is going to be going on at this house, at Eric's house, that was to be putting him in so much danger? Like
You
what?
know what? It was very, very telling to me because when Brooke and Hope were sitting across from each other and Liam essentially sitting in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That optics right there for me stood out. That positioning stood out for me. But anywho,
Yes, it did.
it did stand out.
Mm.
Um, uh, Brooke and Liam are 100% on the same accord.
Very much so.
If he pitches it, she is hitting it out of the park, and vice versa. They have their game down, and she Hope is sitting there allowing them to tell her that they haven't seen for themselves that that Douglas is good. Only she's seen it with her own eyes that Douglas is good. Did y'all get that?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I
Oh,
was
yes.
told. Say it. They are treating her like she's some, I don't know, like some child who can't think for herself.
Right, but it's even worse than that. It's even worse than that. It was more like they're treating her like a child that they are still teaching lessons.
Yes.
Like it was
Yes.
literally to me like those two were parents doing a talk to or a dressing up or down because they weren't really, to me, I don't think harsh, but they were, I would say, how is the
They
best
were
way
talking
to
to her like she had
describe?
they were talking to her like she had cognitive problems and don't understand the truth.
Right.
But even more sinister, though, if you take away the sadness of it, to me, it even seemed a little more sinister because those
Oh,
two,
you sound like me,
Brooke,
Sam.
it seems so sinister because Brooke and Liam seem to be even unwilling to consider that maybe Hope is smart enough to be able to tell that Thomas is slipping back into his old ways. It's so sinister to me. I just it really
You
weirded
heard
me
what he
out.
told
You
her though.
know,
You heard what he told her today. Oh, but you said this before. You said this before. You know we've done this before.
Right, and he said that yesterday too. Remember when he said he don't want? Oh, you said that before about he's making strides, and then he said I don't want to go through it again. So
yes.
yesterday, and today, Liam and Brooke are, and that's what I said yesterday. Brooke ain't on the island by herself.
No, she's not.
Liam is Liam is firmly on Brooke's island. This in Thomas is going to be Hope's port in the storm. But the catch is that once all this falls into play, we will find and we will see, whether it's by a flashback or whatever, that Thomas made the CPS call. So so this is where I'm going to throw a prediction at tonight. You know it's going to change tomorrow because that's how our soaps are.
Mm-hmm.
The chips may fall exactly where they want exactly where we want them to fall, right?
Mm-hmm.
We think Brooke calls CPS. Ridge dumps her flat out because he just can't take it no more. He runs and chases Taylor. Taylor says no. Taylor comes back without Ridge. Ridge moves into the mansion, woos Taylor. Um, uh, Hope is mad at Brooke and thus also mad at Liam because Brooke and Liam are like relentless dogs and they won't let it go. And she's going to be forced to seek safety in Thomas's arms. Once we see all this play out and Thomas has Hope exactly where he wants her, then the script is going to flip and it's going to show and prove that Thomas made the call after all.
Hmm. If they do that, they ain't got to worry about me no more.
And I kind of
They're
feel
gonna
like
think
that's
it's
what they're
riveting,
gonna do.
and they think that it's gonna be a riveting soap opera. They think
Hmm.
that it's gonna be riveting, like it's a
We
twist.
have been seeing Thomas get thrown under the bus every season since 2019 when the character was recast. So no, I don't know to anybody who happens to be if anyone's out there who is listening who actually has something to do with the show, with production or how these decisions are made. Let me tell you in any to make sure this is very clear. There is nothing fascinating about someone getting, specifically Thomas, getting thrown under the bus or to self sabotage his own life for absolutely no reason that makes any logistical sense on screen just to keep Brooke's hands from getting dirty. Because that's exactly what it's going to look like. You
But
will never be able to sell to anyone that Thomas did this to get Brooke the hell out of his father's life and out of his family's life, that he endangered his entire setup with his son, his legal rights to his child that are his, and that he is in no danger of losing at this point just to get rid of Brooke, who's been sabotaging her marriage by herself all damn year long.
and get this, darling, get this. You and I and Bubbles and everybody in YouTube and in the yard, we all have watched and witnessed that Thomas hasn't done anything wrong. Now, if some may say the knife incident, because they set that whole knife incident up just to divide the fan base. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
throw that one out as a gimme. So let's just even throw that in. Let's say he hasn't done anything bad until the knife for all these years. Um, Thomas hasn't been doing anything bad. So just like J Matt said. He said he doesn't believe. He says he thinks that the crazy is behind Thomas. At least he hopes so. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
this right here is if Bale thinks that this is going to be so riveting because lives will change. Brooke gonna lose Ridge. Taylor gonna get Ridge. Um, uh, Hope and Liam going to fall apart and grow distant. She's going to grow closer to Thomas. Um, Brooke is going to grow closer to Liam, and all that's going to happen. And we see that this is already happening before we see that
Mm-hmm.
there's any trick that has been made, even before the CPS called in the knife, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to flip it like now the only reason why any of those things happened is because Thomas made the call. They're going to pretend like everything that was going on prior to CPS being called um, is the reason why Brooke and Ridge having all these troubles. And we already know that Brooke and Ridge been having trouble since New Year's Eve, right?
Exactly.
Ridge ain't been wearing his ring since then. But they're going to
Precisely.
backtrack it and give us the man fuck that the only reason why Ridge and Brooke broke up was because Thomas called CPS and pretended it was Brooke. All that other stuff that we seen happen up until that CPS call, um, Brad Bell is going to try to man fuck us on.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hate to say this, but I think Dollar Bill is our only hope now. Whatever he tells Brooke whatever he tells Brooke next week is gonna let us know if we're going down this route that none of us want to go down, and if we are, well, you know what that
No, we
means.
won't. No, we won't know next. We don't necessarily have to know next week as
I
well.
mean, well, if it turns out that the person who called wasn't actually Brooke or someone impersonating Brooke, I mean.
Yeah, because you guys put Bill up, which I get because maybe she called him, but I don't agree with it being Bill. Electra Storm mentioned it earlier that Bill would be the eighth person, but we cannot presume that Brooke called Bill and told him. We know.
But we know that Bill talked to Liam because Liam said his meeting was pushed back.
Well, yeah, the only reason I have Bill on my list is because these cuts that they're doing where people are leaving and coming back and we're not actually seeing any of this makes me suspicious about about the flow of events, about the
Be-
time that's in between. So
You
no,
know
we don't
why?
have anything
Because they're
solid on
going
it,
to
but yeah.
fill in that time in a series of flashbacks.
Yeah, so that's really the only reason he's still on my list.
Than that. I feel like Bill would do something bigger than calling CPS, though. I don't know why, but I just feel like if he was involved, I feel like he probably would have gotten somebody's face or something. But he has been Loganized. But this, doing this seems like petty bitch shit. But they did
Well,
kind of.
he been licking Brooke's boots lately, so that's kind of right up his alley for petty bitch shit, though.
Now,
I mean, cause
Bubbles have been saying the whole time she think that Bill is a red herring. He has been up in him, but she has been pretty consistent. She thinks he's a red herring. But he is going to deliver some news. I think it's going to be simply he's going to tell Brooke that Taylor and Ridge, that Taylor at least is in Aspen, or Ridge went to Aspen. She gonna key in somebody on Aspen. He gonna key in Brooke on Aspen.
right, maybe, cause I am curious about what the surprising news is.
Because even if it clears Brooke that Bill did it, it still looks bad because why are you running around telling everybody that Thomas was being threatening with a knife? Like, why would
But
you? Why would you? I mean, because it's Brooke, of course, but it to me, the Bill just don't fit in the equation. He feels like a square peg, and we trying to put him in an oval hole. I could be wrong, but I just
No,
feel like they.
no, it's no. I don't think you're wrong. Wrong. I just think
right.
it's the way that they have left this open to the point where we really can't tell who the culprit is. It's just that what the only thing we're all pretty sure of is that the show is going to get Brooke out of this somehow. We just aren't clear on the how. That they're gonna come up with some sort of excuse for why she's not the one. She's not the person who did it. And tomorrow, and the thing is, Brooke has a very specific look on her face when she's lying. So on that phone call with Ridge tomorrow, where she answers his question about whether or not she did it, we're gonna know if she really did it or not, because her face is gonna show whether or not she did it.
Y'all,
Hmm?
Your face today. Mm.
Go ahead. Um, I'm a little bit sick. I just saw something horrible that just came across my feed.
You're sick?
What?
Y'all,
Don't. I got a sensitive nature, so if it's disturbing, don't tell me. I go put it on mute or something.
no, Coolio died, y'all.
Oh no,
Oh no! Well, wait.
no! As
Coolio.
I walk through the valley of the shadow of death,
I
that
take
I
a look
cannot
up
even believe that.
and realize there's nothing left because I've been, yes, honey, he was 59.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Coolio ain't that. I didn't think Coolio was old.
Y'all, I
Well,
was,
we don't seem to have is unfortunately
Longevity.
right. My especially the women in my family. It's just that's how come I think I'm as wild as I am because I know that tomorrow is not promised. I mean, seriously. So, yeah, I hate to hear this kind of news because it just brings in that
It makes me sad.
yeah.
okay. That's this September has really been slapping me in the face. I ain't need no more slaps in the face. Thank you very much. Like
It's always something, child, right?
always something. Always. He had a heart attack. Mm.
Yeah, I'm reading. They said it was cardiac arrest, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. Oh God, I really feel for him and his family. Mm.
Well,
Bless those people.
we getting older, so the older we get, the people that we grew up with are getting old too, and
I mean, I guess it's partially because it's like the last person who passed that was of note was the queen, but nobody really had to say anything to say about that. Not just because people have different opinions about the queen. She was old as hell, so it was
uh,
like, okay, she old.
who was surprised? She was 90 fucking 6 years old.
Exactly. Nobody, her days was high on the land, honey. You got all the life you could have possibly asked for. Nobody, it was like you got all the time that you could have possibly ever needed. Nobody had any complaints about that.
She
So
got
it's
that
like,
time and a half because she was a privileged old white colonizer who had the best of the best, lived the best of the best life, ain't never had to want or for nothing. Probably didn't even wipe her own ass. If you really get down to it, people are surprised that she's dead. Yeah, she's been with us for a long time, and so has Coca Cola. But this too shall pass. But like I was really, I don't know, people were acting like it really affected their lives or something. Like,
this
unless
wasn't no gone too soon situation.
right, this was gone too soon, went out the window about 30 some years ago because her people last longer than fucking zombies on The Walking Dead. They talking about Charles now with his, yeah, y'all seen his hands and his feet. That man needs to be somewhere with a hose and him sucking fluids out. He next. Don't get don't get comfortable because his ass walking around. You remember when Howie Mandel used to blow up the balloons and put them on his head?
hmm
That's what his fucking hands and feet look like.
Hmm.
Camilla,
I try not to look at his ass too much because his face is just whatever. But yes, Lord, what kind of sausage?
Camilla,
What is?
Camilla need to be massaging his hands and feet with Epsom salts and tea tree oil every damn night because that shit got to be uncomfortable. He,
That's more than that. Ain't just no damn edema. I mean, damn.
that nigga fixing to die.
He obviously okay. Well, that mean he must have some sort of a circulatory or a heart issue for his hands to be that damn swole. Goodness gracious me. Woo. He ain't. Yeah. Will
What is
could
it that
will
y'all looking at?
Girl, get
Charles
Google
Charles's hands.
Charles's hands. Go to
Charles.
Just
Google.
go yeah, go on Twitter and just type in King or Prince Charles's hands, and it's gonna be like the second picture you see.
Child, y'all know I'm on evac. I ain't got nothing but my phone.
Girl, you know what? For this right here, just go head on and hop off this call for 2 seconds. We'll let you back in.
But I
You
don't want to see. I don't want to see his gross hands. I let
you know
y'all
what?
describe it.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna share the screen just because the world needs to see Prince Charles' hands. And you got to type the whole thing in because so many people been looking at this shit that Google's like, you know what, we're gonna make this predictive. We already know what y'all looking for.
I
You
feel
looking
like I
for
want some cookies or something.
I made brownies today.
I don't know. I feel like I've been eating pretty healthy considering I've been on this EPAC. I had salmon for dinner and orange, and I don't even remember what I had for breakfast, but it was healthy. No, it wasn't. That's a damn lie.
It was a
I
lie.
had chicken wings.
Okay, Sam, go look. Okay,
Okay.
so look at the screen. This is from Google. They have images of his hands while he is out here talking to people. I
Ooh.
swear,
That one.
I thought
Oh
this
yes.
was photoshopped, y'all. When they had showed this picture, I said, "Why they photoshopping the man with sausage hands?" And then when you see the whole picture, that's him. That is
Yeah, his hands are swollen.
him. Girl,
That's more than swollen, girl. That's
That's a mess.
that damn
Y'all.
ring ain't coming off. I tell you that.
that
Yeah.
shit ain't never coming. They gonna have to cut that ring. Will cut his finger off before he pulls it off. That signet ring is taking that pinky with how your pinky finger. Why they look like carrots? Your
Girl, I don't know what the hell that is, but that ain't
your boy
that's
ain't
more.
for this world. He ain't long for this world. Let me see if I can get his feet because they was beg on them feet, honey. They was talking about his feet when he was over there with them people with his shoes off, and they were like, so many
Does
people.
he have cellulitis?
Girl, I don't know. It probably some inbred because his mom and daddy cousins, and they parents because
Uh,
the inbreed got to catch up with somebody.
well, if his ass make it, I'm sorry. He ain't making to the centennial. We ain't gonna be having too many jubilees for his ass.
Now for Charles, he already
Mm-mm.
75 years old. He got 30 years left, and they not gonna be a good 30 years based on these hands and feet, hoofs to mouth. Good Lord.
Shit. William just gotta bide his damn time because that is not looking good by any stretch of the imagination. Mercy, mercy. Ooh.
People think he's gonna abdicate. They don't do that. His mama done already told him, your uncle did this shit and fucked up the line of succession once. We're not doing that over here. So I don't care what you got to do to be ready for this job, Charles. Get your shit together because I'm getting ready to tap out.
I
Um,
mean, well, he done had his whole life to be ready. I mean, damn, how much on the job training do you need?
but they talk about how Charles, he don't know how to be, um, he don't know how to be secretive. That's not the right word, but they talk about how
Discreet?
discreet because he talks about everything, but they were like the queen never let people know anything about what she was thinking or what her to this day you don't know what her personal thoughts are. Now I got
Mm-hmm.
a friend that came from over on that side of the water, and he said what happens is these monarchs keep diaries, and then
Mm-hmm.
after they die, 100 years after they die, their diaries are released because after 100 years, everybody who's connected is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So if the earth is still here in 100 years, them people is gonna eat good off of her fucking diary. She probably admitted things that people accuse her of. It's 100 years. She dead now. Who gonna care about her killing Princess Diana? Nobody. That was 100 years ago, and then we can do about it now, but just sit here and go, oh, well, damn. They used to do that all the time to their enemies. So, yeah, this is a whole soap opera in itself. These people over here on the other side of this water. I wish Bo could be as good as what the royal family has been. Camilla's their very own Brooke Logan because Camilla was
She
fucking,
is she is the queen of side chicks.
yeah,
Ended up queen consort after all that shit.
and she gave all the side chicks, city girls out here threw a damn party. I ain't mad. That's a come up. She
Oh,
literally started at the bottom, and now she him.
I will say that. Oh, before we get too far afield off of Bold the Beautiful, something that one of the whole scenes that were between Brooke and Hope and Liam One thing, aside from what Sam said about the blocking, where Brooke and Hope are on opposite sides of the room because they're on opposite sides of the issue,
Yep.
and Liam being in the middle, that was a really great point. But also the darker tonage of the wardrobe of the Logan and the Logan adjacent is interesting because you got Brooke in black, you have Hope in that nice dark emerald green pantsuit that she had on with like a black camisole or something under it. And then you have Liam in his suit, which I think was blue, but a really, really dark blue.
Yes, it was very navy.
Right. So I was like, so that dark tone, that dark tonage is interesting because the thing is, Brooke, first of all, Hope, you never see Hope in dark stuff. I can tell you the last time we saw Hope in anything that had black in it, it was when she was in a black dress and she went out for a girls' night and she came back after some foolishness went down. That was the last time you saw Hope in black because they never put her in that color.
This is true.
Right. And then Brooke has been in black the last few days, and now Liam is in dark tones too. So I find that very interesting. Brooke and Liam remind me of one of the young adult novels I read back when I was in school, where basically these people were trying to drive these these people crazy, and what or this girl crazy. And one of the ways that they drove them crazy was to basically make them doubt their sanity.
It's called
And
gaslighting.
yeah, gaslight. One of the things that they did was that there was a painting in the room where this girl stayed, okay? And it was like a painting of waves on the ocean. And what they would do was they would switch that paint. They had more than one painting where the waves were in different positions, and they would switch the painting back and forth and make her think that she was seeing something that wasn't there. That one night when she went to bed, if she looked at the painting, it would be like, okay, the waves are crashing down on such and such. But then when she woke up in the morning, the waves weren't like that. And if she asked anybody in the house who'd ever been in that room, they would tell her, well, no, that's what it always looked like. Even the other people who stayed there who'd seen it was like, we've never seen it look any way other than that. And she started doubting her sanity. That's the vibe that I get from Brooke and Liam when they're dealing with Hope.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Very
why I
much.
said it seems sinister. I felt that too. It was really weird. Very
It,
creepy.
yeah. We I mean, granted, yes, I'm always happy for anything that, gives light to the Briam agenda and the fact that that is something that could definitely happen. But I just didn't it gave me the icks. It really did because aside from them talking to her like she was a child, they completely discounted anything she said. Oh yes, well we realize you've seen
Yep.
Thomas and Douglas, but we haven't seen it. So that just
Yep.
basically means you ain't seen shit because we can't
Yep.
trust your judgment because you can't judge for nothing.
It was crazy. And,
It was.
and she sat there, and it seemed like she sat there and she understood that that's what they were saying because she shrank in her seat every time those I mean the way Brooks tone, yes, and you have to be vigilant. Now is when you have to be vigilant. And Brooks tone was very dark and deep, and she would cut over there and look at Liam because Liam would be in 100% agreement, still talking to her like an idiot, and like all slow, like she's special needs. It really was a scene.
It was. And the thing is, it didn't just stop with Hope. That's the crazy part. They even discredited Douglas at his little big age.
Yep,
Douglas doesn't know
Right.
what he
little
wants.
hero.
So they could trust Douglas when he was sitting there singing like a bird about baby Beth being alive, but he wanting to stay at his daddy's house must be because he's being influenced by somebody.
Right.
He
Hmm
can't know. He can't know what he wants at this age. He can't be making these types of decisions. He's just a kid.
Yes.
But y'all was all on his dick when he was sitting there telling you about little baby Beth is alive.
Yep.
Y'all was ready to make him president of the universe.
And he was years younger. He was like 5 then.
He was half the age he is now, because this little boy about 8, 9, 10 years old now. This ain't a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is I'm going to school, writing in cursive, doing double number multiplication and long division. This little boy looks like he's in 3rd, 4th grade.
Exactly. And he whooping old people ass at chess too.
And playing chess. I mean, come on, Bobby Fischer.
Yes.
So he's not. So I mean, that too was disturbing. And you caught that part when Hope got defensive. Hope got her back up for a few minutes, where she was telling Brooke, "I'm his mother. I'm responsible. Okay, I've checked everything out. I've been paying attention. I told his teachers X, Y, Z." And you have Brooke standing there telling her, as a parent, you have to be diligent. It's like, I know that Brooke Logan is not up here preaching to her daughter about how to ensure a child is safe. Are you effing kidding me here?
You.
Girl, the audacity. Woo! I'm like, your child, I mean, didn't your children almost burn down your living room, girl?
That's how come I keep saying that Thomas is going to be a port in Hope's storm, because Hope is going to be so frustrated. She's going to be as frustrated with Brooke and Liam as we are.
You better believe it. You can see it in her face now.
Yes,
And Thomas
the way
is
she's
going
looking
to
at
be
Brooke.
the only one that she can talk to about it. She can't talk to Steffi about it, because Steffi don't give a damn about it.
No.
Hey, Sanchez.
Hey, how y'all doing? I've been
Hey,
listening
baby.
in. Hey,
They're good. But yeah,
I
it's like,
wanted to.
oh,
I
go
do
ahead.
have a question. I just want to know from Bubbles, because I think I talked to you earlier. I want to know from Bubbles if she thinks they're going to give Brooke a mental health story, because it seemed like the chickadee was completely off, like the last marble fell today. Or is it pure D? We know she hate rich kids, but today she seemed a little bit more, as Ken put it, more Karen than usual. She was super Karen today. I want to know what Bubbles think about it.
I do not want them giving Brooke some sort of mental issue, tumor, early onset dementia. I don't want her to have none of that shit to explain why she has been an unbearable cunt for the past 9 months. 3 years.
Yeah.
For the past 3 years, she has been an unbearable cunt. And I do not use that term lightly. But anytime I want to strangle a bitch on sight for the types of things that Brooke has been doing, that's the only way that I can describe them. She has gone above and
That or a twat.
Straight up.
That's a nicer term. Maybe that's what I'll call her. That's so, somebody right now clutching their pearls because they said, "Oh my God," she said, "See you next Tuesday." No,
sorry if we offended, but yeah, it is what it is.
No, I didn't say.
Call it like we see it.
I said,
yeah.
So, the twat waffle that is Brooke. I do not want her to have some sort of mental issue. I don't. They could have given her a mental issue without it making it about attacking Thomas over his child and fabricating these stories. Because all that's going to do is make her sympathetic. Now Ridge going to want to be by her side. Now Hope going to feel because she put her mom in her place. And Brooke gets off again. And Douglas goes back to the shack. And Thomas is back to being relegated to being unworthy of taking care of his child. But now Brooke is back being mentally stable. And this bitch been crazy since the 3rd episode of the 1st season. I don't know why she ain't got help before. But no, Lady Sanchez, I'm not buying that. I don't want to see it. If she's crazy, let them take her ass off to the room like they should have taken her to that room when she was walking around that island with them dolls talking about my babies. My babies. She ain't never had no kind of mental healing, no kind of mental treatment. All she got was digmatized when she got back off that island. She went and
That's
slept with
it.
a man, and then Brooke's back to being fine again. She has been psychotic since day one. Don't know sane person get their sister up in the middle of the night talking about driving to the hospital room of people that you don't know because you want
Yeah.
to sit there and stalk these people in their lives. Like somebody said, Brooke
Hmm.
just started stalking until the second season.
She did. No, she started the first season immediately.
Right, you ain't been watching this show since the beginning, and if you ain't seen it, you can go on Paramount Plus right
I
now.
mean, there's laws against the shit Brooke was doing now these
Yes.
days.
She that
Yes.
yeah, she was studying reads them in them papers every day. And
Yes, she was.
that turned her on 100% because Dave had proposed to her. Storm sat there in that house and told Brooke, "Well, you sure you're gonna be happy with Dave? Because I don't think you're gonna be happy just being some cop's wife. You have big dreams, Brooke. You're meant to do bigger things. Why don't you just follow your heart and chase your dreams?" Storm is the one that put that shit in her head to start chasing them Foresters. After she had that talk with Storm, her little brother Storm, she sat there and read that paper about Caroline falling out at the wedding, and Donna was like, "Ooh, girl, ain't that some shit? I bet you, I'd love to be a fly on the wall." And Brooke was like, "Girl, we can go be the flies and the wall." And she got Donna in that Volkswagen Rabbit car to drive her to where we going, girl? We're going to Memorial. She had Donna drive her to Memorial. She snuck into Caroline's room. Caroline thought she was a damn nurse or a candy striper. She's sitting there talking to her because Caroline is decent people. But no, Brooke in there. Oh, hey, girl, I see you passed out at your wedding. What that Reg Forrester like? I seen him in the lobby with his daddy and his brothers. They fine. She been
Mhm.
stalking them people since the damn fourth ass episode of the first ass season, March 1987. That probably was a Thursday. If they started on Monday, that Thursday is when she started stalking them people. You cannot change my mind.
Mm-mm. No, you're not wrong. Cause yes,
Yeah.
Brooke. That's
That
that's exactly what Brooke has been doing all this time.
exactly. You are not wrong, Bubbles. And I don't want them to do that, but I just have a strong feeling that's what they're about to do. But I want her, it's time for Brooke to fall. Thomas has been getting drugs since he came back from New York with Douglas after Caroline died.
Yeah.
I'm ready for her to take her fall.
Yes.
Period. I don't want them dragging Thomas for it. I don't want them throwing it on Thomas. I want Brooke to fall because she did. It's clear to me. I know people might be speculative about that, but it's clear to me Brooke did. She made the call.
Well, you know me. I say either she made the call or she's responsible for the call because she's the one out here perpetrating lies.
Right. She is 100% responsible for whatever happened. Even if Thomas is the one who called CPS, she is still responsible because she put that shit in the ether. You put that out there in the air, ma'am. You manifested that. Because Thomas probably never would have even thought to call no damn CPS on himself if Brooke hadn't put that thought out there in his head, which proves he ain't right still if that's what he did. But if he didn't, I will accept it if nobody ever finds out. Like that's a secret Thomas takes to his grave. Like he never told nobody that Quinn spiked Brooks juice that time.
Mm-hmm.
And just like they ain't told Brooke that Thomas knew that Sheila switched them labels on the bottle, I want this to be another secret that that Ridge and Taylor know. It's a family secret and Brooke ain't in on it. That's what I want. I want them to keep that
See,
secret.
and that's the one thing that keeps me side eyeing it is because lately, especially in the last few years, we have had these events that had they been revealed, they would have been caused massive problems that never come to nothing. And remember, I think I said it last night that I don't think it was in here. I think it was in a Spaces that Brad Bell. back when that insulting bullshit happened, when Thomas got those pills from Vinny and dropped it in a drink at Steffi's and Liam drunk it,
Mm-hmm.
and they ended up sleeping together, and people kept questioning Belle about it, about when that was going to come out. That never came out either. Neither did the fact that Vinny was the one who sent Steffi the damn pills. All of these things, and people were like, well, when are y'all this stuff going to come out? And Brad Bell sat up there and insulted anybody who has any kind of writer sense, saying that, oh, well, I just add that stuff. We just put that stuff in for the audience. That doesn't mean it's actually going to be revealed. And I realized that he really meant that, because we've had repeated incidences where stuff happens that the audience sees, but it stays a secret on the canvas and nobody else ever hears about it again.
But that is a writing device, and I appreciate that he uses that. He uses it sparingly, so I can appreciate it that he does stuff like that every now and again. Now, if he was doing it all the time, I would be like, pump your brakes. But he does it maybe once or twice a year, so I can be down with him using this device where the audience knows this secret and the characters don't. And
The only time
they never find out. I'm good with that.
I'm on the only time I am good with that, and it should only be done sparingly, but the only time I'm ever good with that is if that unknown thing does in fact change the whole landscape. I mean, the whole audience, everybody need to be held hostage to the fact that, oh my effing God, all this is happening only because X, Y, and Z, and don't nobody know that. That's the only time it flies for me.
That's a good
We
point.
waiting, right? That because we waiting on it to change, and if it never changed, we just have to live with it. But that's the
That
only time it flies, and that's why it needs to be done sparingly. And Brad does it too much for me.
See, you make a good point with that because
Mhm.
nothing really came out of
None
Queen
of them.
spiking Brooks juice with that vodka, except
Nope.
saying, I felt a little bit weird today. I'm gonna go on over here to this AA meeting because I just feel like I need a drink just out of the blue while she's chugging the orange juice.
Right.
Nothing. Well, you know what? When you think about it, he set that pot on the back of the stove because when it came around to New Year's Eve, we were all sitting here like, how the hell she didn't know she was getting drunk when last year she was drinking that juice Queen spiked and she had a sip of that and she was immediately thrown under the bus. She was immediately feeling that when Queen spiked it. But she just sat here on New Year's Eve with Deacon and drank a whole damn bottle of champagne and had no.
And didn't know that was the real dealio.
So I
Mhm.
think maybe if we sit and really think about it, there's a reason behind it. Because
Mm-mm.
the only reason I could see behind nothing coming of the spiked juice is so that later on we could say that Brooke was really without excuse and she did that because she wanted to. You're not going to tell me that 3 drops of vodka in the orange juice is going to hit you harder than you sitting there drinking a whole bottle of champagne.
That was
It
a
does.
hard ass screwdriver. I mean,
It
she took
does.
a lot out of that damn bottle and filled it up with vodka.
But the point still remains. I know vodka has a higher alcohol content than
Mhm.
wine does. Wine is
Mhm.
usually about 14, and hard liquors about 41% if you got the good vodka. So, but still, the point is, she should have known on New Year's Eve, just like she knew when something was off when Quinn spiked her juice. So
Mhm.
for me, that was just making my brain go back in time and going, that bitch knew. She knew. She just wanted to do that with Deacon. She knew.
Right. So it's kind of like I haven't given up all hope that this story will play out with something that resembles common damn sense. It's
Nope.
just, we just don't trust them. And I even tweeted it. I said we do not trust them. They have gotten us to the point where we know that at any given time they will come up with an excuse to exonerate her and just push all of this to the back and make it like, okay, no, she didn't do anything wrong. Poor Brooke, she's the victim. Feel sorry for Brooke. I'm sorry. If people were gonna feel sorry for Brooke, they already do feel sorry for Brooke. After 30 some odd years, I have no room, no bandwidth in no time to feel sorry for Brooke Logan about a damn thing.
Yep, they're gonna start dressing her back up in her light pale pinks and her whites again. When they start revealing that Thomas made the call, it might be 6 months from now, but I just don't trust it. And literally, if we get everything that we want out of this storyline going forward, then we know for a fact that we set up for it to explode in 2 or 3 months.
Yep. Yep. They might stretch it 6 months just to give us an extra little what they call false sense of security. They might
Mm.
do that for 6 months. They might even let Hope initiate a kiss with Thomas, just the mind fuckers, as Sam likes to say.
Oh yeah,
But then she'll end up going right back to
to
Liam
Liam.
and forgiving her mama. And
Mm.
Because it's all
everything
gonna
be
come
fine.
back. It was all Thomas. None of that would have happened if it wasn't for Thomas. Even though we seeing it happen before the CPS call, but none of it would have happened if it wasn't for Thomas. And they literally gonna say it in the dialogue over and 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 over again. But
Mm.
Just like they
Hope
did
would
with
never
Baby Beth.
have Thomas if Thomas hadn't made that CPS call and pretended to be Brooke. Well, Liam would have never slept with Brooke if Thomas hadn't made that CPS call and blamed it on Brooke.
Right.
Bridge
Mm-hmm.
would have never married Taylor if Thomas wouldn't have made that CPS call and blamed it on Brooke.
Exactly. They will suddenly, and Sam, you laid it out quite flat. That suddenly, months and months worth of development and story movement are all going to be pegged down. Choices people have made for themselves as independent beings will be pegged down to the fact that Thomas made a phone call to CPS on himself in order to frame Brooke and create division in Bridge. And all of a sudden, all these other choices that people made all on their own are going to be his fault. It's the same shit they did with the Baby Beth story.
It's the
They did
same thing they always do. Every time Steffi and Liam got together, that's what the linchpin was. Bill did something. Oh, well, I can't. That's not fair to Hope because Bill did that.
So do we
So
really
it's
think did a spoiler come out, or do we just believe that they're gonna throw
no,
it to Tom?
we're just being pessimistic because it dodgy. It just looks dodgy, and we have no faith. Yeah, that's a good word. We don't have any faith in the show to just let people be responsible for their own bullshit, and because
exactly.
of that,
Mhm.
yeah, and because of that, it's making us really, really think hard about how this could go sideways because we know it's simple if things just look like it is on the surface. Brooke made the call, she had the opportunity, she had the motive, and the circumstantial evidence supports that she made the call. That's a no-brainer. But this is Bold and the Beautiful. This is the show that drinks Brooke Logan's dirty bathwater, as Sam liked to say. So it's just we're going to know probably by next Friday if it's the case. If it turns out that Brooke made the call, or if on the surface it looks like Brooke made the call, then there's like a 50-50%, a 50-50 chance that Thomas was somehow involved. What I'm hoping is that by next Friday, Dollar Bill will rescue us from this hell by saying he was somehow involved or responsible so that this cloud can move over from the story and I can actually start to pay attention and feel like, okay, maybe this might actually go a decent way for a change. So
For
I'm gonna
Thomas,
stick it for Thomas's sake because
right.
because the thing is that the interpersonal dynamics that are going on in the background of this bullshit are interesting because we talked about it in your spaces, Sanchez, and we just finished. We were talking about it here too about how this team up with Brooke and Liam with Hope on the other side is not just fascinating, but it's actually concerning since it's getting to the point where I actually feel sorry for her having to deal with her mother doing her like this and having her husband link up with her mama to basically make her doubt every last a bit of judgment that she has in regards to Douglas
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because they don't agree with it. I mean, you even have they're sitting here advocating for this to go to the next level, and like, well, yeah, I know we're trying to keep it civil, but maybe it's not time. It's time to stop doing that. And she's sitting over here looking at them like that's the last thing I want. I don't want this to be a thing. And it up to this point, it hasn't had to be a thing. Because whatever anxieties or issues she has, it looks like she's worked through it enough to understand Douglas is where exactly where he wants to be, and I gotta respect that.
Regardless, even
Mhm.
regardless who calls CPS or not, Douglas has made his mind that that's where he wants to be, and
And
Hope has decided she's not going to even fight Thomas on it.
right. She's gonna go over, she's gonna spend time, and she's gonna be okay with it because Douglas is happy. But now they are getting to the point where they're trying to get her to not just question Thomas's judgment of and
But
his ability, but her own. Her ability to
Mhm.
gauge whether Douglas is being taken care of properly. They want Hope to believe that only they can judge whether Douglas has been taken care
Yes,
of properly.
And
yes.
that's what's going to draw Thomas and Hope together.
Hmm. I mean, because I'm sorry. Could you imagine living in that oppressive ass house with those people?
Mm-mm.
Where
Mm-mm.
whenever you have this type of conversation with them, it's your mother and the waffling idiot you married telling you how you don't know what the you're talking about 24/7. I would
Mm-mm.
be, I'd never be home. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be divorced and I'd have disowned my mother by then. But besides that, I would never be home.
Right,
Because that's
right.
just. And then Ridge.
Mm.
Ridge. I'm gonna have to say
You
something.
still got
Ridge.
audio?
Hello?
Okay, I thought I lost audio for a second.
No,
No, no, we
Mm.
can hear you. I gotta say something about Ridge ass today. Is that now Ridge? He did come out the bag, and he stood up for Thomas to the CPS agents, etc., etc. So I appreciated that. What I did not like was that, and what I'm probably not gonna like tomorrow because I know that's part of the spoiler is I don't want to hear no excuses. I'm like Taylor on this one. I don't want to hear no excuses. No excuses for how or why or anything in related to Brooke in this entire scenario. Because Brooke and Liam are literally sitting in Brooke's living room plotting how to basically strip Thomas of having access to his child. That is
Yeah,
what they're working on.
girl, they
yeah,
were sitting in the living room trying to figure out how to strip Hope, period, because she ain't going along with the plan. And they
yeah,
get her on board. Like they are they struggling right now.
Right.
yeah,
Hard.
Even to the point where Liam literally said, blah, 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 but only you can protect Douglas, Hope. Only you.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Yep.
I mean, seriously, it's like it's like they're trying to brainwash. They're gaslighting her. They are trying to brainwash her into believing what they are saying, contrary to what she has seen. That's the part that gets me. Is that
that's why, darling, it's to me it's just more plausible for Brooke to have called CPS because, like, basically, like Bubbles just said, they trying to figure out how they can just strip her of it. So they thinking of a way they don't even really need her because they can't count on her, because
Mhm.
basically she's standing in their way. So let's figure out how we can do this to Thomas. Well, we really don't even need Hope's input or how she feel. If we can get CPS in there, we can basically throw that on him, and that'll be the reason he comes out, regardless of what Hope says. So if it's not Brooke, my next person to go to would be Leo.
I had a
Mhm.
thought, guys. I have a
Mm.
question. Isn't there a spoiler out that there's yet a third CPS person? What if
Yes.
Yeah,
that third CPS person goes to talk to Hope? Because two
Well,
CPS people already
ah,
talked to Douglas today.
well, the picture that I saw, I'm going to see if I can find the picture on Insta. The picture that I saw, it was either on Insta
you
or
told us it was on Insta last night,
yeah.
darling.
The picture that I
Thursday.
saw, the guy was standing next to Ridge. Let me see if I could find it.
I want to say that's the same guy that was on today because I looked at him in those pictures. I think that's the same guy and he just comes back by himself, maybe.
Oh,
They gonna have one with short hair come, right?
Let's see. Hold on, let's see if I could find it.
because I didn't see any spoilers. But I think I heard on Twitter that there was going to be a third CPS person, or I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. No, that was not a third person. That was another visit. But we don't know if it's the same person or a different person. We'll find
It's
out though.
supposed to be a different person. That's
It
what
is
we
supposed to
talked
be a
about
different.
last night on the yard because I think Darlin found the picture for us. It's a different CPS guy. So
Let's
we got
see.
two today. So we should have one more coming.
And I would imagine, wouldn't one go to talk to Hope? Wouldn't
Possibly.
that make sense to get
Or
her to
whoever
explain
made the
what's going
phone
on?
call, right?
And now, what if we do have a CPS person go to talk to Hope, and Brooke and Liam essentially take over and basically start giving their view of what's going on?
Oh
Yeah.
Lord, that
So
would be.
Miss
Because they
Queen tell you
bulldoze
it's on
her. I mean,
Tara's page, darling.
they bulldoze her all the time. I mean,
Yeah, that wait. I went to the chat. Yeah, it was Tara.
She
Next
said
week,
it's on
Ridge
Tara's
is
page.
surprised when a CPS agent shows up to check on Douglas, but it's not the same guy. It's not the same guy as the two people who showed up today. Because the woman, one was that woman, and the other one is the Latino looking guy.
Yeah, because he had kind of longer hair.
yeah, the Latino looking guy. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So it is a different guy, but he
It's
gonna talk
another guy.
to.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wonder if any of them gonna talk to Hope, and if he, because I can see this really. Because remember, I was saying earlier, if this is just a good visit and it just is over, this leads to it may be looking like Thomas had something to do with it. But if it actually has some consequences, so if there's another CPS, and if this one doesn't go as well as the one today, then we are leaning into territory where probably Brooke did it because the story wouldn't write it to where Thomas actually got himself in real trouble. You feel me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Hold on a second. I need to see something because.
There are three. So this what I did. I went to the comings and goings.
Okay.
This says viewers will be in for Bumby. This was written on Friday the 23rd. Viewers will be in for a bumpy ride next week on the Bold and the Beautiful when things heat up, not only between Brooke and Thomas, but between Ridge and his wife as well. So Proper Digest is reporting that daytime alums Chi Lan Lu from General Hospital, Nina's ex-assistant, and Steve Richard Harris, One Life to Live Seth, along with newcomer Johnny Rosales, have been cast to play roles that will have an impact on the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
So
hold on now. So what's about to go down between Brooke and her stepson that's previewed in the Bold and Beautiful spoilers? Brooke and Thomas get into a heated argument, which we can bet has to do with him wanting Douglas to live with him or the fact that he and his sister Stephanie believe their mother is a better fit for their father. Whatever the case, Brooke becomes scared for her safety and later tells Ridge what happened between her and his son. But wait, Brooke takes things a step further and calls in the authorities. Lou and Rosales will turn up as CPS officers on Tuesday, September 27th and Wednesday, September 28th, with Harris appearing as fellow CPS officer Walter Barnes on Thursday, September 29th and Friday, September 30th.
mm.
Ridge
Mm.
So Brooke does come on, Bubbles.
Ridge will strongly defend his son, having remembered that Brooke had threatened to call Child Protective Services in the past on Thomas. Once somebody says something like that, you can't get it out of your head, stated Torsten K. Wanting to discuss the situation further, Ridge ends up calling Brooke and asking if there's anything more she wants to add about what happened, to which she replies no. Kate explained that one always wants to believe those they love. So when Brooke says no, Ridge chooses to believe her. And you can imagine how Thomas will react to this. Spoilers also reveal that he lashes out at his father for siding with Brooke and having had enough of being emotionally whiplashed back and forth between his wife and son. Ridge calls in a favor in order to get to the bottom of what really went down between Thomas and Brooke. Until then, read why Ridge and Thomas are perfectly set up to turn over new blah blah blah. Y'all, Charlie is gonna be the one to tell Ridge that Brooke that
Stepped outside and made that call.
Probably what's gonna happen since they got cameras everywhere. Brooke is acting like Thomas came after her life or some shit. So he gonna probably want to see the footage from the house if there's anything on the inside of the house, and then he's probably gonna ask Charlie, what can he get him from the office, and probably the stuff in the office is rigged for sound. I remember when Thorne set Donna up in that office and make it look like she was cheating on Eric, and that sits on that table, that circular structure. What do they call it? The art display thing, that circle thing in the office. He put the microphone on that. Do y'all remember that storyline?
I remember.
Vaguely.
But you know what though? When Brooke went at the office, Thomas and Ridge was across the hall. So where would he have put a camera? Because Brooke don't have an office.
No, I'm talking about the office itself is probably already wired for security. You know, this is a fashion office. They've had people come in there and steal their designs before.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is, wasn't Thomas and Ridge in the main office when who was it? Liam and Hope were across the hall in the design office?
For a time. Brooke left to go do whatever she went to go do. And then Ridge left to go play with Thomas. So that's why Brooke and Thomas are unaccounted for. Because Thomas said, I will stay behind. I got to set some things up and I'll catch up. We don't know what Thomas did after that. Just like we don't know what Brooke did
when she left.
She got to go. What I'm saying is because they are a fashion house and they've had their shit stolen before. Many times it's been in-house thievery, Thorne Forrester. Maybe the office is already set up with the cameras and the mic is what I'm saying. That office might already be set up for that level of security in case somebody broke into the CEO's office for whatever, because you know they don't do shit in the design room. Everything goes on in the CEO's office. So what if that security is already set up, you know, with sound? A lot of security tapes these days are set up with sound because people, if there's an argument, you can't hear what's going on. So businesses opt for the extra money so they can get the sound. So Charlie,
not to mention, there's always the possibility that they made security upgrades during the Sheila debacle too.
Right.
So, okay. So, you remember Bubbles? You know how sometimes you say that I'm slow and I'm just not getting it. I still am missing something. I hear that you're saying that the offices are already wired, right?
Right.
I get that. But what I'm saying is, where do you think Brooke actually made the call?
So that's what I'm saying. If Thomas, whatever he did, if he finished doing what he needed to do
and left,
and then Brooke came in the office behind him, because again, everybody uses that office for every damn thing. He could have left and she came in behind him or came in after he left to make that call. Because like I said at the beginning, if she had walked into that office while he was still there, we probably would have gotten a scene. Or we would have a flashback scene. But I can't imagine they would have, in this heated moment with the arguments that they're having, I can't imagine she would walk in on the office with him and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I know you was here. I'm going to go on back out. No, she would go in and try to bust heads with him, and they would show that to us. I don't care if the bitch was in the bathroom. They got cameras in the bathroom. Charlie gonna get her. Because Charlie's been getting everybody.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I didn't believe it yesterday when Lady Sanchez said that Ridge got Charlie keeping tabs on Brooke. But he went there today and asked Steffi if she had seen Brooke. And no, as far as I'm concerned, this is a fucking Brooke Logan free zone. And Charlie said, I tenfold gotcha. We won't let I'll keep her out of the office. And Finn said, well, keep everybody out for about a good 30 45 minutes.
Thank you. Finn put everybody out today.
And Charlie was like, why y'all don't want to be disturbed? I don't understand. And Stephanie's looking at him like, dig, if you don't get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
My husband trying to do a little something. Get on.
My husband trying to give me the Brooke Logan experience. If you don't get the hell about my office, I'm trying to see what go down when the sun is up. If you don't get out of here, sir, talk about why y'all won't.
And the other thing that makes me suspect there may be something to that, Bubbles, was the first thing out of Brooke's damn mouth when she got back to her house was about how she was not comfortable, about how it wasn't a good idea to talk about this at the office.
Yep. She was like, because she wants to keep it secretive. She don't want nobody overhearing. She don't want nobody listening in. She probably privy to some of the security that they have there. She knows that they pulled the security to see Deacon leaving the house. Of course, she's going to be careful. I wouldn't talk at the office either if I was trying to set somebody up to lose their kid. You talk about that shit in your car, in the garage with the radio on.
Hmm.
But
I don't disagree.
Well, thank you for reading that. That cleared up a lot for me. Thank you for reading that. So I mean, I had a
It
feeling. I
it
felt
gives
like
us
I knew it
hope.
was Brooke. I knew it was Brooke because it was either her or Liam. It was either her or Liam. But when they say Brooke will call the authorities, it has to be CPS because she hadn't called it. She didn't call the police on Thomas when she felt like he was threatening her with that knife, which would have been. Which, if you actually felt threatened, why didn't you call the police? So that just stamps it for me. I mean, she called the authorities.
yeah,
I mean, she called CPS. I mean, the authorities meant CPS.
yeah.
So either she did it in the hallway, Sam. She either went stood out in the hallway, or either, like Bubble said, Thomas must have had already left
Also,
Stacy's
and
office,
not
and
to
she went in there.
and Vicky Langer also mentioned maybe the showroom. It's not like they've been doing fashion shows. Could
That's
she
right.
have
right.
walked out to the showroom?
That's right.
Ain't that going
So
to the
But see,
showroom, the dressing
Hey,
room?
listen. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
yeah.
yes, Sam.
Y'all always say, "Yeah, I can hear you." Listen. Um, when Bubbles was reading that article that
Hmm.
Torsten K had, that was Torsten K's soap opera digest article. I remember reading it, but how come I completely did not catch until Bubbles was just reading it that the article clearly states that Brooke made the call. It wasn't
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah. It does.
It
It clearly,
does.
she
Did
made the
y'all did y'all
call.
just catch that?
Pretty
I
much
think
everything
she
I have
did.
read said that Brooke makes the phone call. And
Yeah, when she read it, I caught it.
I
um,
read it before, but I didn't catch it. That
Oh
Me
no,
Brooke,
neither.
it says
this is the
definitively that
first
Brooke
time
made the
I
call.
heard her read it. I don't think I read that before, or
I did.
at least I don't remember. But tonight is the first time I caught it, which it clearly says Brooke called
Brooke
the
made the call.
authority.
It literally. I didn't. I read it myself on
I did.
on Instagram, but I didn't catch until Bubbles just read it to me that Brooke took it a step further and made a
And
call to
made
the
the call.
authorities.
That's right. Yeah,
I,
this is the first time I heard it, Sam.
I've been telling y'all it can't be Bill. And I know y'all want it to be Bill. Esty Ryder and Electra Storm have both put in their bids for Bill, but I done told y'all why it ain't gonna be Bill. He's a petty Bill. He's Loganized, but Bill has never been a petty bitch like that.
Yeah.
Bill is a low level. He's villainous. He's not a villain, but he's got some villain tendencies. Um,
Yes.
and he always tells us about his plans to do things. It's never
Mhm.
a surprise. We never go, "Oh my gosh, Bill did that." No, because Bill will tell us, and he will plot and plan it. Just like we knew that Bill was trying to kill Amber and what would have been his grandchild if that baby had came out anything but black. Um,
Yeah.
Bill has those old school villain ways where he's gonna sit behind his desk, rub his hands together, and tell you his whole plot. Now
Yeah.
I know his key henchman is gone, and he ain't got nobody to talk to no more because he would tell Justin all his little plots, and Justin would
Hmm.
run off and do his dirty work. I don't think it's going to be Bill because Bill is very obvious. Even when he was trying to ruin Steffi's life, when he was stalking her and doing all that nefarious shit, we knew it was Bill. We didn't have to guess. We knew it was Bill. This is Brooke. Just like I put my money on it being Liam, I'm putting my money on it being Brooke. Mostly because of the way the spoilers read and the way that I have been interpreting the spoilers. The only thing that's gonna break Ridge's heart is finding out that Brooke lied to him about calling the authorities on Thomas. Because it's the one thing he's been begging her not to do. And she went ahead and did it, and she's gonna lie to his face about it.
Her
Listen,
ass is
I
crazy
think
too
now
if she
that it's
did.
been, I think now that it has been that we finally, I think all of us read these things too quickly, to
Yeah.
consume it, and we didn't really marinate on it because it clearly says that Brooke made the call. So if
Yeah.
it clearly says Brooke made the call,
So
then
we
there's
can
no if,
relax. Yeah.
ain't no if, ands, or buts about this no more. Brooke
She
made the
made
damn
the
call.
call.
So Brooke made the call. Thomas is off the fucking hook.
We don't have to worry about them dragging our tail ties, Sam. So my heart has slowed down a little bit. I'm happy about
Exactly.
that. I can
It's still
relax.
gonna be his fault at the end of the day. They gonna still find a way to blame it on. If Thomas had never taken Douglas from the house, Brooke never would have had a breakdown, and she never
Uh-uh.
would have gone through all of those trials. She never would have slept with Liam if Thomas hadn't taken Douglas from the shed.
But ain't nobody gonna go for that because Hope is already not going for Brooke and Liam shit.
No, not really. And that look that she had in her eyes today, she really wasn't with the shits with them on this.
No, today, baby girl was like, y'all about 2 steps away from me blowing the fucking gasket right now. Like, I'm so sick of hearing y'all talk this shit. And I've already said what I done said, and that's what it's gonna be.
But that's not Hope's style. What she gonna do instead is turn to Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
So, darling, your spoiler, because we were thinking today that Logan versus Logan was today, because she did put her foot down today. But I don't think, and now that after hearing this article, the whole article that Bubbles just read, I think it's gonna be something. Yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna come up because she's gonna find out that her mama was the one that made the call on CPS against Thomas. So it's going to be all out war. So I don't think today was that spoiler, right? Or
Wait,
is it
I
another
got a
No,
question.
spoiler?
I'm telling you, that Logan versus Logan is still coming. This is just a
That's still coming. That's right.
So
this
listen,
today was
guys,
a discussion.
I have a question.
Uh huh.
I guess I wasn't paying enough attention. Did Brooke or Liam, either one of them, mention CPS today? We know Brooke
No,
talked about it to Ridge. We know Brooke talked about it to Ridge again on the phone today. We know that Ridge and Thomas talked about it. But Brooke has not mentioned the three letters CPS to Brooke, to Liam, or Hope, has she?
no, she has not. And when Ridge called her today, she answered that phone, baby, like, hey, Ridge, what a nice surprise.
Because
So
you know
so
he ain't
Brooke gonna be lying to everybody.
She
yeah.
lied to everybody. And she was just in full hysterics. That's why I was like, what in the hell happening with Brooke? Because she was in full hysterics. Just a moment, just right before that call came through, because she was in there arguing with Hope about Douglas and Liam. So they were going at it, and then the call came from Ridge, and she was, hey, sweetie, how you doing? Nice surprise. Nothing came. And then when Ridge started going through the scenes of what happened, because before he just told her what happened. He was like, do you know, we got a visit today. And she, really? Who, Ridge? And when he started telling her, what? CPS? Is Douglas okay? Is Tom, I mean, she.
Like, why would she be surprised that CPS was called when you literally said earlier that you would call CPS?
That's
And that
what
was on nobody else's
she.
radar but hers.
It
So
was wrong.
listen,
Her whole it was wrong. That's why I was like, either they finna make her crazy, or she either messed herself up. Because don't act surprised when you just know on Monday's episode you threatened, you told Ridge to his face you would call CPS on his son. Then Tuesday you threatened it. You used the word CPS with Liam and Hope. So Mondays and Tuesday we got you doing CPS Today she didn't mention CPS, but when the call came from Ridge, she acted so damn surprised. What? CPS? What did they want? It's okay. Like she really this bitch, y'all.
But you know what depression I got is that she was surprised maybe that they got there that fast. And I think that her hesitation was that she heard how angry he was and that she decided to back off on confessing that at that moment. And she gonna keep it to herself and it's gonna build and build and build into on a lie, on a lie, on a lie until it explode in her face.
Cause I would have thought she would have said, I know what you must be thinking, Ridge, because I know what I said yesterday because we had because Tuesday and yesterday and today was the same day. So I can hear her saying, I know what you must be thinking, especially after what I said, but there's just a coincidence. So it's either, like you said, Sam, she was surprised that they made it there that quickly, or either they getting ready to try to give Brooke an out. I mean, or you know what? It could be the third thing. They just gonna let her take her charge and deal with it. I mean, maybe Bradley about to let Forrester fans be happy for a minute. I know we so full of PTSD because of how he normally does us. We so shell shocked, but maybe he actually about to drag Brooke for her shit for the first time in a long, long time. Just
Child.
say,
If
just
ifs
say,
and if ifs and buts was candy and nuts,
oh,
We'd all have a Merry Christmas.
oh,
we'll
God.
all have cavities.
Brooke took. I mean, I don't want this shit. I mean, because she just read. We know Brooke did it. Okay, we got the call. Brooke will take it a step further and call the authorities. How she gonna explain her way out of this? And how is Thomas gonna be her reason to explain her way out of this shit? They done went there and traumatized that boy. But I enjoyed the scene though when he was like, when they was like, are you safe here? Do you like it here? And he was like, well, safe? What you mean? Yeah, I like it here.
I have a question, guys.
What?
I have a question. That today, when the two CPS agents were at Forrester's mansion, did
Yeah.
they make an appointment for another stop by, or is
No.
that something? Okay. So
No.
what if both Thomas and Brooke call CPS? What if Brooke calls CPS? And what if
No.
Thomas calls CPS? And we got
I
two
think it
separate
would have been in that
agents.
spoiler that that Bubbles just wrote. If they would have said something like Thomas does something low handed or undercut. No, they just said Brooke takes it a step further and called the authorities. So this just may be a follow up visit. I don't think Thomas had anything to do with this.
Well, that would be our wishful thinking. But I'm still looking for the linchpin in Bell's habit of you know blaming the Tatots for holding for what is it, trying to for trying to tear us apart. It's always tearing someone apart.
Trying to take using Douglas to take Ridge away.
I
Yeah,
think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Sounding crazy. Your
Well,
kids just want me to break up with Ridge so you can have a chance with him. Bitch, that's your husband. Y'all ain't gonna break up, and it ain't gonna be a chance for
exactly.
Taylor and Ridge. They grown as hell. They either gonna reunite or not. They acting like they in high school.
Pretty much,
Break
or like they're
up so you can
dating
get
or
a
they're
chance.
engaged or some shit.
I will say there's one thing though, and then we're gonna wrap it up because it's 8:58.
Mm.
I will say in the whole Thomas did it. The only thing that would make that stand for me is the way he was acting with CPS, like he was going above and beyond in being protective. Like he told the lady to take the knife. Just take it. If this is going to cause some kind of problem with people thinking that this house isn't safe, just take the pocket knife. But I felt like that was a little bit too much because it's a pocket knife. The kitchen is full of fucking
Mm-hmm.
knives.
Oh,
So he went and got it because they wanted to see it, and then he told the lady to just take it. If that knife is gonna be what causes grief in this household, just take the damn thing away. Just take it. So That kind of got me like,
But you know,
What?
Father had already made that decision. He had told Ridge at the office, you know what?
That he was
I'm gonna
gonna
go
go
home
home
and
and
I'm gonna
kind of
make the house
safe,
the safest
yes,
house
it
that
kid
Yeah,
he
proof
can
the
live
house
in.
basically.
Yeah, he had
that's
that
already
right.
made that decision.
that's true. But then also, can we stop talking about baby proof in the house like Douglas is too? He's in the fucking third, fourth, fifth grade. He is the boy uses
Hmm.
the knife at dinner himself. If they ever feed him a steak, I know he's cutting the steak. Is Hope cutting up the meat for him?
No, because they don't eat meat there. Hope and Liam
Oh,
don't eat
that's
meat.
right. They don't
So
eat meat. That's
yeah.
why
Oh my God.
he got a damn knife. No wonder Brooke was so upset.
Yeah, but Brooke ass eat meat. And, you know, but her whole thing was, you know, he shouldn't even be having a knife in the household with them.
Right, but they
That's
don't
what
also Brooke don't let them come up to the big house. Remember? Y'all live down there in the cabin. They ain't coming up to her house to eat.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's the flowers in the attic. She keeping them held up, and they ain't allowed down up the stairs. Yeah,
The siblings.
She said,
Mm-mm-mm.
Get
"No,
back
yeah.
at
The
it.
sister's not allowed.
you can do whatever
And
you want down there in your little cabin, but you can't come up to the big house." No,
That's right.
right. Well, and it
She got
looked
to
like
keep
we
the
done hit
flowers.
9 o'clock, ladies.
yes, it is 9. So we're gonna have to wrap it up because we gotta all keep our mind on the space. We don't want to run out of space and then end up not being
Thank
able to
you.
carry things over with.
Thank you for bubbles.
Thank you guys for coming out. Everybody over there in YouTube, Vicky and Shonda, Miss Queen Libra, SB Writer, and Electra Storm. We did not get Louisa today, so I hope that she's okay. She's probably sleeping because it's 2 o'clock in
In
Germany.
Germany.
And I
Hmm.
don't blame her. She needs a break because she's been with us since
Bless her.
the beginning. And if she didn't took a couple of days off, then I'm a little jealous, but I
I,
ain't mad at her. All right, you guys. Tomorrow is Thursday, and so hopefully we'll get a little bit more to go on.
right. So
Okay,
we'll be here tomorrow to break it down all over again and see what we can see.
Yes.
Yes.
ladies. Y'all have a good night.
All right.
Good
Y'all have a
night.
good one.
Good night.